Today's studio productions are brought to you from the Byzantine Empire.
Hello, and welcome to the Chelsea and Shannon Show. I'm your host, Shannon Moss.
And I'm Chelsea Manilli.
Please welcome our guests, Justinian and Theodora.
Today we will be asking a series of questions concerning your power and influence over the Byzantine Empire.
Justinian, the first question is directed towards you.
Which is more important to you? Putting Rome back together and possibly failing, or keeping Rome as is, but watching it prosper?
You see, I believe I can do both. The major thing I'm hoping to focus on right now is regaining the provinces we lost in Africa. Belisarius and I are sending out troops sometime in August and hoping to meet no opposition. If we can do this, we can receive Gelimer's submission.
That's an interesting answer, Justinian. How do you feel about that, Theodora? Would you gladly watch your husband die if it meant his cause would be fulfilled?
Well, being born a peasant, I have learned not to get attached to things as they are often taken from me. I also learned how to sacrifice. This empire is the reason we live, and so be it if it's the reason we die. I, however, would not describe my state and my experience as glad. I would mourn him greatly, but I would do what is necessary for my kingdom.
Alright, very nice, Theodora. Next question. Justinian, do you feel Belisarius is a more qualified leader than you? Please explain the answer.
Well, of course not. Belisarius might be the greatest general this world has ever known, but I'm Justinian. I completely reformed all of Rome's laws. I built the Hagia Sophia up from the ground and made enormous efforts to reunite the two sides of Rome. None of you would be where you are today without me. I'm the greatest emperor this place has ever had the privilege of being ruled by.
Oh, juicy. Unfortunately, Belisarius couldn't make it today, but we sure would love to hear his response to that. Let's get some questions from the audience. Yes.
This question goes out to Theodora and Justinian. By the way, huge fan.
Thank you very much.
I was talking to Theodora. But whose well-being are you more protective over? Your subjects or your...
I definitely say my subjects on this one. After all, I was a peasant before I became emperor, and my people mean everything to me. I dedicated my entire life to ensuring that they live in a prosperous and secure empire. It doesn't matter where I came from, it only matters where I go. And I can only go up from here.
Nice. Theodora, how about you?
I'd have to agree with my husband on this one. I used to be an actress. Yet I managed to overcome the struggles of poverty and become who I am today. Therefore, I much prefer my loyal subjects to my ancestors.
Alright, good answer. Here's another question for you. Why did the West fall?
They had a weak military, and the barbarians took advantage of their laziness, but this will not happen again. I will connect us once more, and Rome will be indestructible yet again.
I completely agree with Justinian. We simply will not allow the empire to fall into the state of despair that it once remained in.
Alrighty, good answer. Let's move on to the next question.
Justinian, what is your greatest weakness as a leader?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I don't have many. I believe my main weakness is not always being focused. Sometimes I get overzealous with my military strategies and forget to look out for the best interests of the people. That's why I have my second in command, Belisarius, right by my side, to watch over the empire when I get a bit distracted.
Alright, folks, time for another question. This one's for the pretty lady, Theodora. Do you feel your influence on the empire was subdued because of your gender? And how did this impact your reign?
Well, I hate to gossip, but yes, I do feel that I have often been viewed as inferior to my husband Justinian. All of his great ideas stem from my thoughts and advice. In fact, without me, Justinian would be nowhere near the man he is today. Not running away when times get tough, yep, my idea. I convinced him that dying in the purple was the most noble death of all, and that little bit of advice saved our empire.
Very nice. And now, the last question of the night. What do you guys feel was the most important thing you've done for this empire?
It's hard to just choose one. I mean, I'd have to say rebuilding Constantinople to its prior greatness was quite an achievement. This city is the basis of the empire, and without it, the empire would fall apart. It's the foundation of the church and our people.
Excellent way to end of the night. Thank you to our wonderful live audience and for the special guest with us today. We'd like to give a shout out to our camo woman, Chloe Bingham. We'll see you next time on The Chelsea and Shannon Show.